So, whether you like to believe it or not, AEW has constantly feel like they've fallen to the wayside. They haven't done the best storytelling that they could possibly do. And in today's video, I'm going to go over a list of some things that AEW can do in 2025 to possibly better their product. Because a lot of people like to believe that many of us would like to just see AEW go away when that is just simply not the case. We just have critiques towards AEW. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some of those critiques and how AEW can go about making their product just a little bit better and more watchable for us. But guys, my name's Billy TKO. If you're new here, definitely be sure to like this video and also be sure to subscribe to the channel. When you guys subscribe, we go to a different stratosphere. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so let's hurry up and get there, man. I'm super excited. Things are happening, and they're happening in a really good way. But yeah, let's just, without further ado, hop directly into the video. All right, guys, so today we're going to be going over some critiques that I have for AEW. I've actually made a list here, and I'm going to be going over that list and giving my discussion about it. And I want to start with number one, and that's fixing the storytelling and character development. So one thing that AEW has certainly lacked for a long time is their storytelling, at least within the last year. For a long time, it felt like AEW was just kind of getting by with cool surprises and stuff like that, especially when, WWE wasn't at their best. AEW was, they were doing everything that they possibly could to just let the surprises kind of walk them through without having to really tell the best stories. But now AEW has a very, very big roster, and they have enough people that they could really start digging into the storytelling. Like, I know right now one of the things is Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. And as great as that is, and, as wonderful that is, it seems like they're just kind of putting on matches that people would like to see without kind of giving any story behind it. See, we all knew that AEW had talented wrestlers, but we never really knew if they were talented storytellers. I think back to a time with the Hangman Kenny storyline and how good that was when AEW first originated, when Hangman was chasing the title and how he was depleted and stuff like that. That is one thing that I go back to. Next thing would be character development, and how character development has just kind of lost sight in 2024 going into 2025. I feel like somebody like Sammy Guevara or Daniel Garcia, like these are two gentlemen that have no direction really, that are supposed to be the backbone of your company and just have not been put like that. I know Sammy Guevara teamed up with Dustin Rhodes and they did some stuff over in Japan for New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is obviously awesome, and you love to see that. A lot of these guys dream of wrestling in Japan. But you want to really make them a part of your TV show and show off the things that they do. So I think that's something that I would say that needs to be worked on is the storytelling and the character development. So the next thing I would say is the diversity and strengthen of the women's division. I think we need to diversify that women's division a little bit and allow things to kind of feel a little more natural. I know we had the Toni Storm thing that's going on. Mercedes Moné, she's like now pretty much the women's Kenny Omega, to where she's like the belt collector and stuff like that. But I think we need to add more storytelling inside of the women's division. The Toni Storm Mariah May thing, as great as it was, to me, it personally just felt very, very rushed. And it feels like you have such a strong women's roster, and we could be doing a little bit more with them, especially across two shows. You have Collision and you have Dynamite, and we know that both shows can succeed given the right tools. Tony has to be the person to naturally make them succeed. The next one would be develop stronger feuds and rivalries, which is obvious in circumstances like this. If you guys remember, we had the Adam Cole and MJF thing and how great of a storyline that was when it started and how it just stretched on for way too long. AEW overdid that storyline so much so that it just ended last month. We now know that MJF is going to try and get his title back, and he's going to possibly be bringing in people in to help him get his title back. And as great as that is, it felt like we just kind of let the story die. And the storytelling behind that feud in particular just did absolutely nothing. I mean, you look at guys like Wardlow, who's just, again, fallen to the wayside, who definitely deserve so much better than they are actually given. So I hate to see that the storytelling isn't doing exactly what it should be. So yeah, I think developing stronger feuds and rivalries will be huge for AEW going into 2025. The next thing would be focusing on the presentation of the show. The presentation just seems like another version of WWE. I feel like they went away from that alternative that they once were. You know, if you go back and you think about the tunnels when they first started, and granted, I know they still sometimes have the tunnel. I mean, maybe they do have the tunnel. I haven't really kept up with the product that much, but I tune in to make sure I know everything that's going on. But you know, with the stage presence and the production from the TV crew, like there are numerous things that AEW can do to really tighten that presentation up, especially now because they're on Max, right? So we know that they have this partnership with HBO Max, and we know that they're on streaming services, no different than Monday Night Raw over on Netflix. And we've seen the drastic change on Monday Night Raw and how awesome it was on Monday Night Raw. So I think focusing on the presentation will be huge. The next one is actually really big for me, and that's enhancing the tag team division and multi-man divisions. Talking about the trios division, I think AEW has really lacked in this department for almost a little bit too long. When they first kicked off, the tag team division was actually one of the best divisions, if not the best division. When you think about Penta and Rey, and you think about the Young Bucks, and you think about Private Party, like early on, the tag team division in AEW was awesome. And you think about like Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, they should have won the tag team titles back at, I want to say it was All Out a couple years ago, and then it was against Swerve and Keith Lee. And AEW just completely dropped the ball on that certain situation. And just thinking back to that, it feels like that's exactly when the tag team division kind of lost its step, was right around that time when they didn't give the titles to Max Caster and Anthony Bowens when they obviously had the opportunity. The trios division, if you want to even call it division, we obviously know the news of Malachi Black potentially going to WWE, and it's like, is there even a trios division anymore? If it were me, I mean, what once seemed like a really good idea can potentially just be dropped now because I don't even see it working anymore. The next thing would be addressing management and backstage drama. I think that is going to be huge because no more drama. Leave that be. Tony Khan, be the boss. Be the boss in the correct way. Don't overuse your power. Just be a boss and be a friend at the same time. You're allowed to do both. Triple H, I think, does a really good job at being both. And I think the next one for me would be strengthening the fan connection. AEW has obviously lost touch with their fans. A lot of their fans have critiques, including myself. And we have now stepped into a world where it just feels like Tony Khan has just lost touch with the fans, and he's just started to do what Tony Khan likes to do, and he stopped listening to the fans, which we can compare to that to somebody. His last name's McMahon. So I definitely think Tony needs to kind of get that ball back rolling and get back in touch with your fans. That's going to be a huge piece for you. And then the next thing would be adapting and evolving to wrestling trends. So it just embrace your digital content, be appreciative. And when you're putting out this, like, because I see AEW, they put it out a lot of vignettes and stuff on Twitter. Make sure you're putting those on TV too. Give those TV spotlight. Don't put out a bunch of them. Just make sure that they're seeing the time of day on TV. Make sure everything is flowing fluently. That's what you have to do on TV. But yeah, I want to say that those are my thoughts on how AEW could potentially fix themselves in 2025, because I definitely think now is going to be the best time to do so. I don't want to see AEW lose track of themselves. I genuinely don't. I'm not an AEW hater by any means. I love that there is another place for people to wrestle, and I love that people can go out there and be the best versions of themselves. But I definitely think it is time to start pushing that ball forward before you lose everybody. And that's just honesty. Because I did stop watching. I'm not gonna lie here to you guys. I'm not. I definitely stopped watching for a moment. But yeah, that's how I'd say AEW could potentially go about fixing themselves in 2025. Guys, my name is Billy TKO. If you're new here, definitely be sure to like this video and definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. Definitely be sure to subscribe, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to me. But other than that, guys, that is all I got for you today, and I'll be talking to you later. Peace.